What's going on? Welcome to the weekly axe kicking. Today we're going to start taking a look at the solo to Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band's Blue on Black. There's a lot of lead guitar in this tune, divided up into different sections of the song, so we're going to divide it in about, I'd probably say about 3 different parts. We're going to look at part 1 today. Also going to talk a little bit about phrasing, and that's really what makes a good blues guitar solo. Alright, here we go. Alright, now before we start breaking this solo down, I want to talk a little bit about phrasing and an exercise that I use to improve my phrasing. And if you're not interested in this little phrasing spiel, you want to get straight to the solo, just fast forward like a minute or two and you're all set. But what I did for this song, and this is something that I'll do every once in a while, especially with the electric guitar, because the electric guitar, there's so many different ways to execute notes, or a series of notes, you know, from bending, legato, sliding in and out of notes, etc. The guitar is a very dynamic instrument. There's a lot of ways that we can phrase notes. So what I like to do sometimes is to imitate a vocal line on guitar. And the human voice is capable of doing so much more outside of this standard 12-pitch musical system that we work with as instrumentalists and guitarists. So it really kind of forces you to think on, to think outside the box, so to speak, and make up for the fact that we can only play 12 pitches with, using stuff like bending. I mean, bending's a big thing because instead of, traveling up or down between a note like this, we can gradually bend our way up. And we can catch all those little kind of microtones that fall in between. So here's just a little thing I came up with in conjunction with the chorus line in Blue on Black. Alright, so the first part of this solo is in D minor pentatonic, and let's just go ahead and take a listen to the beginning of it. Alright, little 3-note riff here. It's going to be D, D, F on the 4th string, D twice, and then the F on the 10th fret of the 2nd string, the 3rd string, A slight little bend on that F note too, like that. Now this is immediately where phrasing comes into play. You're not just making, you're not just playing these notes. You're putting in a certain kind of attack towards them. For instance, we do a lot of raking in this, okay? Raking is when, even though I'm making just this D note sound out, I'm going to make it more violent and kind of guttural sounding by muting the other strings and actually plucking the previous strings. And maybe I can probably, let's just see what happens when we pluck all the strings and just make that D note sound out. That's a way different effect we're creating than just... So you get my point when I talk about how the way we phrase it, using that raking technique, is going to give us a much more kind of attack kind of sound. So we're going to just, implement that with a lot of what's going on here. So that riff again. And here's the next riff. Alright, we're going to start at the G on the 12th fret of the 3rd string. Immediately bend it up and then back down when you play it. And again, I'm doing a rake thing. Now, the rakes that I'm talking about, they're not. I may do it or not do it when he does it or doesn't do it, but I mean, this being a blues rock solo, as long as we just kind of get the essence of it, like I'll show you all the right notes, but as far as every tiny little detail, it almost seems against the nature of a solo like this to break it down so scientifically. So just kind of talking about the techniques being used, and then you can make some of your own phrasing decisions from there. Anyways, like I said, bending that G note up and down, and then the F on the 10th fret, same string, and then those two notes again, just played normal. So, and then the D on the 4th string twice, and then the C on the 10th fret. So that riff played slow. Alright, next part. We're in D minor pentatonic, but we're going to go a little bit outside the box form. 15th fret of the 2nd string on the D, and a big rake right here, and some vibrato. And then we're going to the C on the 13th fret, same string after that. So one more time. Alright, next part. Alright, so we're going to start this riff with the slide. 14th fret, that's the A on the 3rd string. Just play that, immediately slide it down to the G. And then play the F, G, F again, then D on the 4th fret, 4th string, 12th fret, then C, D, D on the 4th string, that's the 10th, and the 12th fret twice. So let's see that riff played really slow.